Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm Lawrence.
And welcome to the Nick and Lawrence Show. Welcome back.
Yep.
Good to have you here, Lawrence.
Good to have you.
Thank you. So on this episode, we are going to talk about...
We're going to talk about the happiest place on earth.
And if you didn't know, that's Disneyland. I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. What's your happiest place on earth? I think for me, it's Disneyland.
Could be the circus, but we'll talk about it. I think we'll talk about it after the break.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be right back.
So, I was talking with Nick and we decided we should do Disneyland this time now. In one of our earlier videos, we had done a whole thing on the Walt Disney Treasure. We've brought... I brought back one that we had talked about when we talked about Walt Disney, your host Walt Disney. We're going to get into this one in a little bit because there's a couple of things about Disneyland in this one.
Yeah.
And then we have Disneyland USA, which was part of the first volume set of the Treasure set from 2001. And then Disneyland Secret Stories and Magic. And we just wanted to kind of go over... we want to kind of go over the Disneyland topic and kind of, do some of the history. So Disneyland opened on July 5th, 1955. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think you said that in one of our other episodes.
Yeah. So
you used it as a... Well, there was a trivia question because there was a false opening.
Right, there was a false opening. But it was July of 1955 was when the park open, and we'll go there. If you remember from our last one, we kind of hinted on that, but so the thing that was really cool, and we'll start with Disneyland USA, is that this is part of the first volume set. We talked about Davy Crockett on our video.
Sorry for the noise.
So, but we talked about that and this being part of it. So we have in this one, we have a picture. If you haven't been to Disneyland, we'll show you this. This is one of the things you'll see as you go into Main Street, and this is this is Autopia, and Autopia was one of the original park attractions when Disneyland opened its gates in 1955.
Cool.
This image was used in Disneyland around 1960 as the poster for Autopia. Earlier posters such as this were created entirely by hand using stencils mounted on fabric.
Wow.
Now, when we think about the park and talk about the early days of Disneyland, you'll notice that the posters today are now in both of the tunnels as you go into the park.
Right.
When the park opened, they were actually on the front of where the flower Mickey Mouse is and the Disneyland train. So, so this actually, so I'll go in. This is the little booklet that always comes with them. And the thing that was cool about this set is you get opening day. You get
these are all videos of the day that they filmed.
So this was the opening day festivities with Art Linkletter and Ronald Reagan and a couple of other spectators. So it was and there's a picture here in the booklet that kind of shows opening day festivities. So,
hasn't changed much.
Hasn't changed much. I think this is all the kids when they opened Fantasyland, which had during their taping they had a gas leak.
Oh.
And there's fun, interesting things. But disc 1 is the Disneyland story. Then we have Dayland Disneyland, and then disc 2 is Disneyland After Dark and Disneyland's 10th anniversary. So the Disneyland story is pretty much a show that was on in October of 1954 that had all of the lands from Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, Frontierland, and Adventureland.
So before the park opened.
It was Walt's way of promoting the show.
Got it.
And he took each land. Fantasyland was mainly for the old movies like Snow White and Cinderella. And I mean, Cinderella was only 2 or 3 years old by the time they were, getting ready to do these televised shows to say, here's what's coming to our park. But so that was pretty much that in a nutshell for that. What's really interesting is that I was looking at the boxes before I came over, and these DVD sets, the Disneyland USA and this Your Host Walt Disney, are like 5 years apart in release. But what ended up happening was they released the 10th anniversary again 5 years later on this set. So you get the same episode that you had on this one. But this one's pretty cool because you get a feel of the park and stuff. And then Disneyland Stories and Magic is probably my favorite because it really takes you, what you get is you get like you get a movie that was made for theaters about Disneyland that's like maybe 44 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
And then
that's cool.
And then you get 3 of Walt's TV shows that shows certain pieces of the park. So you
so it's like behind the scenes almost.
Right, it's behind the scenes. But this one, the thing I like about this one was that there was a lot more to this one than any of the treasure boxes. So you have you have a poster and a lot of.
And was there a reason for that?
What?
Why there's more in this one?
I think it's because it's trying to tell about the park. There's like an art sketch of the of Sleeping Beauty's castle, and it says here, the design of Sleeping Beauty's castle was inspired by several medieval-style European places, most notably, I don't know the castle, but it was some sort of a castle.
Yeah, something that's hard to pronounce.
Hard to pronounce.
Neuschwanstein.
Yeah, Neuschwanstein Castle, built by Mad King Ludwig II of Bavaria.
Yeah.
This image is the imagery legend Herb Ryman's original 1954 concept illustration of Sleeping Beauty's castle of Disneyland Park. So that was what.
That was before it was built.
That was before it was built, or the sketch before it was built
by an Imagineer.
By an Imagineer. And then the other thing that came with it, because before our time, our parents had what was called a ticket book, and you had this little. They actually gave you a really cool ticket book that has all the different things you could. It says, "We hope that your visit with us today will be a happy and memorable experience for you and your family. This ticket book is your passport to many wonderful adventures in the Magic Kingdom. May your day at Disneyland be pleasant one. Return and visit us again soon, Walt Disney."
So do you know how long they did these ticket books?
I want to say up until maybe the early 1980s, maybe through the 70s. I'm assuming that, but you had...
This is multiple entrance?
Well, you paid one admission fare, and then you got tickets for, I don't know, it's like, looks like 10 cents per, like the A ticket was like 10 cents, a B ticket was 20 cents, and 30 cents for a C.
Oh, so it was like tickets to go on the rides.
It was tickets to go on the rides or shows, like you have Fantasyland where you have, a D ticket got you into the Astrojet, Tomorrowland, Autopia, Skyway, to Fantasyland, Peter Pan Flight, Snow White's Adventure, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Storybook Land, Canal Boats, Alice in Wonderland, Motorboat Cruise, Fantasyland, Autopia, Skyway to Tomorrowland.
That's cool.
So that's what you got for a D ticket, and I mean, like I said, you had shows plus you had some rides and stuff. But I'm assuming, and I just that little, that's kind of what you would do before our time, which kind of made it
check off what you did.
Checked out. I guess you could check off what you did, and
it was cool to see. I mean, you won't be able to see this; it's a little small, but if you've seen any of these or you've looked up online. It's cool to see how many attractions there were in the beginning.
Right.
Because you would think, it just opened. There wasn't as many. But all Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Frontierland, the Jungle Cruise was there.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Yeah. That it sounds like it'd be fun from day one.
Right. To
go to Disneyland.
So, the thing I like about this one is that, so on this one, you have a documentary that was made, the release of this DVD, so it came out, I think, shortly after the 50th anniversary. So the documentary on the first disc is everything that you'd want to know from the park opening until Walt passed, and then everything, kind of after that. So that's on disc 1. And then, like I said, there's a theatrical movie, the People and Places thing. Let's see. Move this over. So in the book, we'll just kind of skim through the book because, so disc 1 we have Disney's Story and Magic, which is the documentary for that DVD. So then you have People and Places, Disneyland USA, which was a theatrical film that was made 1 year after the park opened.
Commentary by Leonard Maltin.
Yep. That's
He's
very,
a
very
historian.
historian. Yeah. So you get a commentary on that movie, which is not on most of the treasure boxes we've looked at. That doesn't happen, but on this one we get that from, and the Imagineer Tony Baxter knew Walt. So that's cool. So really cool features on disc one, and then you have
a lot.
Operation Disneyland. You have the Golden Horseshoe Review. You have the Disneyland Goes to the World Fair, Disneyland Around the Seasons, and I really like, because this is how I got into the dinosaur thing, because one of my favorite rides is the train around the whole park, and you get to see the dinosaurs, which came from the World's Fair, and they figured a way to add it. When Nick and I took a trip to Disneyland, I had to get him and a couple other people, and we had to show people the
cool.
dinosaurs. But
it's like a little hidden treasure, only if you go on the train.
Yeah, so that's everything from those. And like I said, we were going to briefly talk about Your Host Walt Disney, and because there are, we repeated the 10th anniversary, and then the other favorite reason why I brought this to talk about it was that on this set, and we didn't talk about it last time, was they have the opening day on this DVD set. We have the opening day of the monorail, and we have the Matterhorn that's featured in a live thing that somebody took their camera of the day and was able to film their TV and record the whole program. So that was kind of cool to have. You have two Disneyland features, but that's where I like the stuff you get out of these three, because you get, if you're ever like in I'm missing Disneyland, I can go right back into these and hop into Disneyland from home.
If you're missing a trip to Disneyland.
I mean, like the Disneyland After Dark is a favorite thing, and I think there's one or two where they start off by showing you that they start you off on his TV show with the monorail and the Disneyland Hotel, and it'll take you pretty much, they'll play the Disney music, and you'll feel like you're actually on the monorail, and then you get dropped off, and they're like, and here you are, and then they do another shot, and there's Walt getting some popcorn and stuff, and then they start and that's actually on the Disneyland After Dark, on the Disneyland USA one. That's the thing, my favorite is when they start you off at the Disneyland Hotel, take you on the monorail, and then they go into the park, and then
that's cool.
And they say, here's your host Walt Disney, and he's actually on Main Street getting popcorn.
So out of all of your Walt Disney Treasures collections, would you recommend the Secrets ones the most?
Yeah, I would.
That's your favorite?
I would recommend that, and I would recommend Disneyland USA.
So if you're looking to purchase one of these, that's what the front cover looks like. It's called Disneyland Secrets, Stories, and Magic. And these are still available on, places like Amazon and eBay. And also Disneyland USA, which you talked about. And I actually don't have any of these, so all this is new to me. I think I'm going to have to do some shopping.
Well, I know that this one, the Disneyland Secrets, Stories, and Magic, was my first treasure next to the Mickey Mouse Club. So this one and the Mickey Mouse Club we talked about in another video were things that I actually bought at Barnes & Noble when these were originally released. So I paid the normal $30 price, which I was really surprised and shocked with, that here's something that was $30, new, and it was a little, but that we're talking a little over 10 years ago. But it doesn't feel like 10 years ago plus. Doesn't feel like it should be the prices that they are now, because these things,
because they're more expensive now.
Well, a lot of the times, unless you get, now $60 is probably a good price. Somewhere between $30 and $60 should be the retail price. Davy Crockett,
2007. Yeah.
So this is only 11 years old.
Yeah.
And I bought that brand new at I think it was For Your Entertainment or someplace. I bought it at a store for the price that it was, and now it's like, you're lucky if you can find it for that price, because a lot of the times what will happen on Amazon and eBay is I want to almost say they triple the price, because now it's in the $100 to $400.
Well, they're more expensive because they're not made anymore.
They're not made anymore. Well, the last
they're collectors,
the last set, which had Zorro, and there was the Annette one that I showed in the things, or on our Mickey Mouse one. Those were like the last ones that were released in 2008.
Wow, so 10 years ago.
So 10 years ago. And Zorro, I've been trying to find it, but I have a feeling because there's only a handful made, even though they were the reasonable price at the time, that, it's very hard because they only made a handful. And so that's the one I've been trying to find and get a, good deal, but I haven't been able to find it because
The Zorro one?
Zorro, they made.
That's the last one?
That was the last in the
But
whole.
you don't have that one?
I don't have that one.
Oh.
I should have when it was in the store. I bought it, but my mind was on buying other things.
Right. Have you seen it, or you don't know what's on it?
I don't know what's on the 2-disc set.
Interesting.
But I grew up watching it on the Disney Channel, so.
Well, what's interesting is this stuff kind of commemorating Disney and Disneyland and Walt Disney came out. The last one came out 10 years ago. So, considering what they did for Mickey's 90th birthday, and they put a lot around it, right?
Right.
I'm wondering what the next big thing they're going to celebrate will be, because I know they're focusing on their movies and all the things they're working on right now in the films, but it'd be nice to see what their next big collectors memorabilia for Disney history will be.
Right. Well, a lot of this.
Maybe they'll come out with these again on Blu-ray or something.
Right. Well, this thing the Disneyland USA came out for Walt's 100th birthday. This was maybe about 2 years after they celebrated the 50th anniversary. So this was kind of commemorating the 50th anniversary. So both of those came out for big occasion, 100th and 50 at the time. So maybe someday. The thing I've been getting, because we're on the Disneyland thing, and it was interesting watching all the vlogs, and I got noticed on this before we did the taping, was that, and things that I'm excited about, because this will be taped later, so I kind of got back from a trip to Disneyland. That was kind of fun. But at the same time, as we were taping this, I also realized that there's some things that I'm kind of excited about for May, and that is the Star Wars Land's coming out. But I was also excited about something. I've been to the park so many times that I always end up getting really sick when I come back from the park. And I was really pleased to hear that they finally decided to, after the last 25 years, finally get rid of the smoking thing in Disneyland. So all of the smoking sections in Disneyland and Downtown Disney and the other parks are, being taken out. So they're gonna
like that.
They're gonna get rid of it. I know that there's some people who are probably at the park right now who are loving to have that. That thing.
Now,
but
we'll just say this: we don't support smoking.
Right.
If you smoke, we love you as a person, but quit smoking. It's bad for your health, and you won't be able to go to Disneyland and enjoy yourself if you don't quit smoking.
No protesting at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I've already seen a few vlogs out there that have been that people aren't too happy, but for me and my health, I'm really grateful that they're finally getting rid of it. For everybody's health, exactly.
Well,
I don't have anything else to say.
Then I think on that note, we will end it for this episode. We're going to dive into some more Disneyland research and stuff for our next episode, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell, which is somewhere right over here, and follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and check out our other videos. Share with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Until next time, I'm Nick.
I'm Lawrence.
And see you later. Bye.